For the lateral lunge with rotation, oftentimes what I see people get wrong is just the coordination element of this drill slash exercise. I consider it more of a drill and moving into certain positions, getting exposure to certain positions than I would necessarily consider it an exercise, especially one where we're having a high degree of output or intensity in the movement. But whenever you get set up for the lateral lunge with rotation, you can do it body weight, or you can hug something like a med ball, because this will help enforce the stacked rib cage over pelvis position and also allow you to have something to rotate around. I just find it helps cue people into the rotation a little bit better. So whenever you set up, you want to make sure that your feet are straight and pointed forward the entire lunge. You still want to make sure you're doing the lunge properly. So maybe warm up with a couple of repetitions of a lateral lunge first, no rotation, just making sure that your knee's not driving out. You still keep whole foot pressure. You're still thinking of the lunge almost like a single leg squat variation or a squat variation, right? So my knee is still going over my toe, my hips are still sinking back. And then you're going to add in a rotation with the med ball. You can do this one of two ways. Actually, you can do this one of a few ways. So you can do an alternating lunge to rotation variation, or you can do all of your reps on one side first, and you can break up the rotation a little bit. So I encourage people when they first do this exercise, make sure they get into the lunge and then go ahead and add the rotation. When you feel really comfortable with it though, you can lunge and rotate at the same time. And often I'll cue to people, whenever you go into that lateral lunge position, you want to think of rotating that elbow, this left elbow, whichever elbow is the same side you're lunging to. You're rotating it up toward the sky. So we're moving around in axes here. And it shouldn't necessarily take a lot out of you, but sometimes the position can be hard to get to. And so take your time, go slow through this exercise. Really allow yourself to hit the lunge. Make sure you're squatting into the proper position first, keeping the opposite leg straight. And once you get that lateral lunge, go ahead and rotate around. Another thing to avoid is excessive collapse. So you still want a nice straight torso whenever you go into the rotation. You don't want to be collapsed down here trying to rotate. You want to sit into that lunge and then rotate around.